Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you found the exercise yesterday helpful. I hope you had time to write out your habit loops and bring awareness to them. Today I want to talk about hacking the habit loop, hacking reward-based learning. And this is really simple. What I want you to do, I want you to step outside of your habit loop for a second and ask yourself, what is this really bringing to me? What is this really doing for me? And can I change this? Now, an exercise you'll need to do in order to really get to a point where you can step out of your habit loop and honestly take a look at it and see if it is something you can actually step out of and see for what it truly is a mindfulness practice. And this mindfulness practice is really simple. I'll give you an example. So there was a study done where they took smokers that were trying to quit cigarettes, and they had the smokers be mindful about using the cigarette. And what happened was interesting. When the smokers were really mindful and not caught up in fantasy, and they were physically in the moment and feeling the sensations of the cigarette itself, they reported interesting results. They reported that they sensed a smell of cheese and they felt a burn go through their throat. And that sensation was enough to have them step out of the habit loop and realize that the benefits weren't really what they imagined them to be. Sometimes we fantasize about things and it's a lot more enticing than it actually is. So that's a great example. The same with alcohol. If you drink alcohol and you just get mindful about the taste and how it feels going through your body, it's often an unpleasant experience. And when you realize that, you can step outside and say, okay, what is that really doing for me? And if it's not something that you truly need in your life, you can actually take that step away from it. If you practice this enough and you get to that point where you can live life without it, and you can find pleasure in your life without porn, and you go for rewards that are more rewarding than porn and masturbation, here's what happens. When you get mindful and you go through the act of consuming porn, it actually feels empty. It feels hollow. It doesn't satisfy you. It reminds me of the saying where someone said that consuming porn is like drinking seawater. You're thirsty and you're drinking it, but it never really quenches you. It never really satisfies you. You're always left more thirsty. So when I did the awareness, mindfulness, habit loop exercise, I really found that porn was empty and it was kind of a shell of a thing, and it just wasn't actually rewarding for me. And you really need to approach this from a mindfulness method to really appreciate this. And you may need to do some mindfulness practice and develop the skill of mindfulness in order to really feel the benefit of this exercise. But give it a shot. Get really mindful about it. Ask yourself, are these rewards really worth it? Now, I want to share one more tip with you. If you do this properly and you step outside of your habit loop, you're going to find something absolutely beautiful. The process of being mindful and uncovering all these feelings and emotions that's behind the porn and masturbation, by tuning into that, you're going to feel this intrinsic sense of reward. And that can sometimes be better than the action itself. It's this feeling of control. It's a feeling of certainty. It's powerful. So by practicing this, you're experiencing an intrinsic reward, which is the reward of being able to tune into something and see something not have control over you anymore and pull yourself away. All those internal things are extremely satisfying and rewarding to experience. So I encourage you to keep practicing this technique, the technique from yesterday, the technique from today. Keep doing them as much as you can until you feel that intrinsic release, that intrinsic reward. And sometimes that can be enough to step outside of the habit loop and make a powerful change.